What up? It's your boy T-Bear here in the reaction. Today is Music Monday, so I wanted to do this interview. I had time to fit this in, so I'm doing it early. So I got a little time to do earlier anything. This is from Navie. It's called "The Decline of Hip Hop and How Producers Are the Problem." So a lot of folks downplayed the newer era hip hop as well too, and a good amount of them it seemed like producers or the beat makers are to blame for the decline in hip hop. So I wanted to check this video, see what it's all about though. I usually disregard anything downplaying new era hip hop as well too, because I did react to a video that I didn't fond of it, and me disagreeing, I got a lot of flack for it though. But this one is about deduction. I do want to hear like what they say about how producers is the problem of declining hip hop. So without further ado, let's check it out. It might be something interesting as well too, especially me being a beat maker. It might think about something to refrain from as a beat maker. So let's get it.
If you're a fan of hip hop, let me ask you a question. Are you bored? Does it feel like you've been hearing the same song over and over again for years now, like nothing in hip hop has changed? If you feel like this, you're not crazy. In the last 5 to 10...
Okay, yeah. Now I thought I recognized him. Yeah, he does a lot of production videos. That's why I got to recommend it. Okay, he does a lot of production videos, well as production instruction, or it's a lot too. I do follow him. I had to see the face again. Yeah, I recognize him. Yeah, I follow him a lot to get ideas about production and all that. Definitely check him out.
10 years, hip-hop has become more and more stagnant, and there's less innovation than ever. But why? What is happening? Many people blame the music industry. Hip-hop has become the #1 genre in the world, and some say it's become too commercial. Others blame streaming platforms, that music has become more for algorithms than people. But there's one factor that people never talk about, and it's the producers. Somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago, something changed about music producers that no one noticed and no one ever talks about. And so in today's video, I want to talk about this. I think producers are causing one of hip-hop's biggest problems, and no one even knows it. Here's how. To understand how hip-hop has become stagnant, first we need to rewind and think about how we got here. In the early days of hip-hop, it seemed like the sound of the genre would get reinvented every few years. Whether it was the stabby, aggressive production of early Dr. Dre, the jazzy, low-end production of Q-Tip, the rough, disorienting production of RZA, the pop influence of a Hitman, the southern blues influence of Organized Noise, the Casio sound of Swiss Beats, the sped-up soul from Kanye West, the percussive rhythmic beats by Pharrell. Every few years, the sound of hip-hop would change, and it would often be because a newer producer came in and introduced a different sound or style. But in recent years, we really haven't had this type of innovation. For the most part, we've been stuck with trap-influenced beats for about 5 to 10 years now. And I want to say,
downplaying it because I love the trap-influenced beat, but I get where he's going with this.
I don't think there's anything wrong with trap beats. This isn't yet another video of an old man yelling at the new generation.
I'm glad he's not either. Shout out to Navie.
I actually think newer producers have tons of talent and great ideas. The problem is that the system that we have today stops them from creating these great ideas. Let me explain how. In the world of producing, there are a few different systems. The most common system that you might know is the direct system of producing. This is how most producing used to look. You had one producer who made a bunch of beats, and they would play those beats for the artist directly. Think DJ Premier or Pete Rock making beats for a Nas album. You also had the group system. This is when you had a bunch of producers in a room together, and they would make beats together for artists. Think Organized Noise making beats for Outkast. And you had the director system. This is when you had one or many producers working under the umbrella of one main producer. And that main producer selects which beats to use while maybe making some changes to the beats to fit a specific style. Think Timbaland in his later years with Justin Timberlake. Now, what is the system that we have now? Today we have the E-collab system, and this is where you're going to start to see the problem. Here's how the E-collab system works. You have one producer who starts by creating a bunch of loops or the core ideas for beats. Then those loops get sent to another producer. That producer chooses which loops they want to use, and they might add another sound on top of that loop. Then those get sent to another producer who might add some drums, and then they get sent to yet another producer, and so on and so on. We have this system where producers work on beats one after another.
Wow.
And many of these producers don't even know or talk to each other while they work on these beats.
Oh, wow.
So by the time a beat reaches the artist, it's gone through 5 or 6 different producers. This is a system that has never existed before, and it's also what I think is causing this huge problem. Take a look at this example. Here's the tracklist for Illmatic, which is considered one, if not the best hip-hop album of all time.
That's it, the Fabulous Four, Fabulous Five of the group, or the Fab Five, or with the sixth man, Fab Five being DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Lost Professor. No, I'm right. No, yeah, I'm sorry. Fab Four plus one. DJ Premier, or I used to call them four horsemen. DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Lost Professor, and Q-Tip, and the sixth man being LES.
Most songs just have one producer. And here is a tracklist for Jack Harlow's latest album, which is considered one of the blandest hip-hop albums in recent years. Take a look at that track listing. If Schindler had a list this long, World War II would have never happened. Now you might be wondering, so what? What exactly is so bad about this eCollab system? Well, think about it like this. I want you to keep this quote in mind when you think about this system. It's from Rick Rubin, who's widely considered one of the greatest producers of all time.
Facts.
He said innovative work is likely to alienate as many people as it attracts. And I absolutely believe this to be true. Whenever there's an innovative new idea, some people understand it and some people just don't. There will always be a group of people who just don't like or want this innovation.
Exactly.
So if we take this quote literally and just say that 50% of people like innovative ideas while another 50% don't, just for the sake of this example, in the direct system of producing, there's a 100% chance the artist gets to at least hear the innovative idea and a 50% chance that the artist actually likes and uses it. It's not bad. But let's think about how this works in the eCollab system with 5 different producers. Here, let's say producer number 1 creates this idea that could very well shift the landscape of hip-hop like all the producers back in the day used to. What are the chances that it makes through all 5 other producers successfully? All it takes is for one producer in this system, just a single producer, to not get the idea, to not understand it, to feel alienated. And once that happens, that innovative idea that could have changed hip-hop just dies. Looking at the math here, there's only a 6% chance for this idea to even reach the artist and a 3% chance that it even gets used. And this is why I think hip-hop music is becoming more and more bland. In the eCollab system, think about what kinds of beats do successfully make their way to the artist. It's going to be the most inoffensive, people-pleasing, accessible ideas. Innovative ideas just don't work in this system. And that's the problem as I see it. While the eCollab system might be great for newer producers to get their first placements, to get their foot in the door, it's just also holding them back from making an impact with their beats and actually innovating. Again, I think there are plenty of producers out there that have brilliant ideas, who have the potential to shift the landscape of music.
Glad I did watch something like that. This has got me an idea for if I do want to decide to, go in. Make this thing professional with my beat and not just something to do as like a hobby, just don't throw on SoundCloud or anything. Something to look into though. So I appreciate this.
But for that to happen, this system needs to be abandoned. I think producers need to take a stand and eventually start moving away from this system, to eventually start putting out their own projects themselves, or maybe even working with artists more directly again. And I think this can happen. We're actually
like beats tapes, or release your shit on SoundCloud or anything. Say this is what they don't want to hear. I try to give them they want to hear. Like that sounds like a good idea. Like to release a beat tape. A lot of producers do release beat tapes, or whether it's beat tapes to sell or beat tapes to put on a streaming services to showcase your beats.
She's starting to see examples of what can happen when artists go the complete opposite route of the eCollab system, where they don't involve anyone else in the music at all. An artist who really represents this idea well is JPEG Mafia.
Yep.
He takes everything into his own hands, not only producing, but rapping, mixing, and everything else. And whether you like his music or not, one thing that you cannot deny is that his music is innovative. So I don't know how you feel, but I'd personally love to see more of this, and getting some new ideas and innovation back into hip-hop. If you feel the same way, or if you think this is nonsense, I'd love to hear your opinions on why in the comment section below. This is just an idea that I had in my head for a while, so I just wanted to share it. Anyways, I hope you liked this video and it made sense. Thank you for watching.
Cool. This was actually an informational video, though. I definitely was intrigued about this well too, because I know I was already subscribed and I realized this the guy, one of the producer YouTubers I follow heavy though on as well too. For one, let me open up his. For one, I want to open up showcase some of his other stuff he has, so y'all can subscribe and join and follow him as well too. If you haven't already, I'm just hoping it comes out. Those links coming up, but anyway. But I do want at least curious of the comments. I do want at least see the comments over that at least comes up. Yeah, some of these I say have different hypotheses in the past, and the main way to get discovered was to have a unique sound. It's facts. As a producer, I think a major problem is also the type beat system. That sounds like a lot of NFP said they be discovered. You should run a YouTube channel where you post consistently, so one beat a day, and display the algorithms. You should keep it. So that's why small producers make the every day the same beat over and over again while trying to develop new. Okay, that's a good little instrument right there. First time around, learn production. Now do artwork. Is the dope feeling when you can flesh out. Okay, that's interesting. We're ignoring the fact that artists are requesting the same beat. That could be the problem as well too. And somebody said same for R&B, and that's kind of facts too. You know, same R&B got the same beat as well too. Production has been worn down to sound and feel like Drake style singing. They are. And that's why you need to support your local artists, because those people produce, record, and mixes all their track by themselves. Yeah, that's facts. A lot of local artists and underground artists as well too. And you know, money is everything. Somebody said when cash rules everything, commercial beats are art, and quantity beats qualities. And is that for true right here? But anyway, his channel came up for me, so okay, come up, but show up. Make a liar out of me, YouTube. I love it. Hold on a second. Alright, back. So yeah, he has. If you check out Navie D's video, he have a lot of like how to with certain style beat, like how to do a classic boom bap. I think I actually checked that out. I wanted to his thoughts on plugins, the myth, breaking down myths and secrets of production, as well as tips and tricks as well too. And 3 times to make your beats interesting as well too, and not make it boring or bland as he mentioned in that video as well too. And if you do trap beats, he has a tutorial how to make it, make it interesting, as well as some masterclass tutorial with using what he used, which is FL Studio. So other than that, this was a good video to check out as well too, and interesting. So let me see. Seeing G-Pay live was a game changer. That's good. I'm trying to see anything that might do it. You nailed it. I never did a collab. People think it's wrong, but that's what I feel. And somebody says, male since I've been a producer 20 years now, and I always have my own style. It's not something that everyone goes for, but one thing. Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna add this right here. I'm gonna add this to a future Music Monday. It's gonna be a long one, so I'm about to pick a day for it though. It's this thing about, because he talked about Rick Rubin and Ronnie. I see a video about Rick Rubin. I do want to do a reaction video of that, because that's one of my all-time favorite hip hop producer all the time. But anyway, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.